We are talking 5 solid wide receiver sleepers in this episode today. Before we do, the show is brought to you by pristineauction.com. Get in on some amazing giveaways, signed helmets, signed jerseys, signed footballs, amazing swag. It's free to enter. Go to pristineauction.com. Use code SWAGLINE when you sign up, and we'll get you in automatically entered. Now, this upcoming week or so, we've got an amazing giveaway for this Mac Jones signed helmet, guys. Beautiful helmet. Again, to get in, guys, it's very free to enter. Very easy and free to enter. Go to pristineauction.com. Use code SWAGLION. Now, let's get to the show. Sleepers. Very early list for Fantasy Football 22. Excited to dive in this with you right now. All right, let's dive into the show, guys. We're talking 5 solid wide receiver sleepers. I've got a bonus one here for you as well. I want to dive into this because the sleepers are where you get the value. This is how you win your leagues. Guys like AMON-RA St. Brown broke out last year. A lot of value, guys, happens at the wide receiver position. Jamar Chase was ranked over 60th on the Consensus ranking. Same with Jalen Waddell. All of these guys had themselves a great season. So we're going to talk about some sleepers here. Again, this is the early list. And as the rookies get integrated after the NFL draft, we'll find out a little bit more about who the sleepers are. But again, this is predicated on looking at the stats last year without integrating the NFL draft. Okay, so 5 sleepers. Before we get into this, guys, again, head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get the 16-round draft solution. I've linked it here below. This will help you guys crush your leagues. No question about it. It absolutely works. You'll be very, very happy that you're going to be dominating. You'll be running circles around your league mates, guys, because I live and breathe this stuff. It's like having me at the draft with you. Video training with all the notes on all the optimal players drafted in each round. 16 rounds. I've linked it below. Get in right now. All right, guys? Lowest price of the season. All right, let's talk about this. First guy I got to talk about here is AMON-RA St. Brown. Now, here's the thing. You're like, well, Joe, he kind of broke out last year. Is he still going to be a guy that's going to be considered a sleeper? That's pretty much dependent on where his ADP falls and how they can Consensus rank him and where people are drafting him. Now, he did finish 21st amongst wide receivers this year. I still think he's going to be slept on a little bit because I think that the Detroit Lions are not a very attractive team, and people have been thinking like, I don't know if I want him. Now, mind you, last year he went undrafted. He was stashed on all my benches. I told you to stash him in all your benches last year as well. So it's not like he's going to go undrafted this year. He's definitely coming off. I would guess, it's very early to tell, I would say the 5th round, okay? That's just kind of a guess here. Maybe after the 5th round, maybe a bit before, give or take a couple rounds. 4th round to 6th round, okay? I think he's going to get a good return on investment. Now, again, he started to really turn it up after week 13. When you look at his stats statistically, really started to turn it on at week 13, and that's when his target count went up. He had 12 targets in week 13, 12 in week 14, 11, 11, 11, and 10 to finish off the season. So double-digit targets after week 13. And then prior to that, didn't even have a double-digit target type of game. So week 13, he really turned it up, and the fantasy points started to happen for him. He started to develop as a wide receiver and started to become the primary target there in Detroit. Now, you could say Hawkinson's going to get some more volume next year. DeAndre Swift, if he's healthy, very well, very, very possible. But I still think that AMON-RA St. Brown is going to eat. And I still think, and I hope people are going to sleep on him. So I think he's going to be a solid sleeper. Hopefully you get him for value, and I hope he takes off for your team if you do roster him, okay? So he's my first sleeper there for you. Now, the second one here is a double hit combo here. Now, I'm talking about the Denver Broncos wide receivers. They had a disaster every year, but the talent is definitely there. Jerry Jeudy only playing 10 games, Courtland Sutton playing 17 games. But either one of these guys could go off. Now, Courtland Sutton seems like the obvious guy. He did play more games, did do a little bit better in fantasy last year. When you compare the points, 150 points for Sutton, 80 for Jerry Jeudy. But Jerry Jeudy is a little bit younger. What is the age? I'm going to find out the age gap difference here. Jerry Judy's only 22 years old. Courtland Sutton is not too far off. He's 26. So, again, both these guys really young. Both these guys have 2-3 solid years left in them. So I'm not really concerned here when it comes to, their age and, are they going to be affected on a decline physically? I don't think that's going to be an issue, but I think the quarterback thing is going to be an issue. They need to get a quarterback. Now, there is rumors at the time it's recorded, we don't know, that maybe Aaron Rodgers ends up on the Broncos. They need an ace quarterback, maybe Russell Wilson. Who knows who ends up there? But if either Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers ends up on the Broncos, man, I'm super excited for both Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Now, their ADP should shoot up theoretically, obviously, if they get an ace quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers ending up in Denver, for example. So either one of these guys, both these guys should have a better year than last year. Again, the quarterback play didn't get it done. They just didn't. They just did not get it done. So my concern here was the quarterbacks. And at the end of the day, if they get a good quarterback, they will eat. I'm looking at right now quickly, I'm going to pull up the quarterback numbers here for Denver. And the thing about it is Teddy Bridgewater played 14 games, and he had, 18 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Just did not get it done. And then they brought Drew Lock in for, he played about 6 games. He absolutely played like crap. So the quarterback play was the problem, and I'm hoping that gets improved. If so, both of these guys are going to be amazing sleepers that are going to have a good return on investment for you guys this upcoming season. It's very important that you target them for the right average draft position, okay? So we talked about AMON-RA St. Brown. We talked about the double combo of Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. I think a little more upside of Jerry Jeudy. The next guy I'm going to talk about here is DeVonta Smith. I'm really high on DeVonta Smith this upcoming season. I think that connection with him and Jalen Hurts only gets better. DeVonta Smith had 104 targets, played all 17 games, but was a rookie. Jalen Hurts, growing pains. I hope they improve the O-line. I hope they make some other improvements overall on that offense, but I really feel that Hurts and DeVonta Smith are settled into their roles, and I feel they're both going to be solid contributors. And the fact, it's very simple, guys. The fact that DeVonta Smith did not finish top 20 in the rankings, in fact, finished 30th amongst wide receivers, is really encouraging from a fantasy perspective if you want to get him for value, because the main sheep will sleep on him. Now, there was other rookies that broke out, Jalen Waddell, Jamar Chase, to name a few. But I'm telling you guys, AMON-RA St. Brown, and DeVonta Smith is one of the most talented wide receivers out of that 2021 draft. Going into 2022 fantasy football, DeVonta Smith, I think, could be slept on, and he is the wide receiver one on that team with the Eagles with better rapport. I'm excited about him, and I'm considering him a huge sleeper this year. Hopefully, I get him at the right average draft position, okay? So let's go over another couple guys here I've got here now. You may or may not think these guys are sleepers. That's okay, but the guy I'm talking about is Adam Thielen. With all the hype around Justin Jefferson and the tail end of the year with Adam Thielen falling off due to injury, playing 13 games, I think a lot of people will sleep on him. Now, understand, guys, Jefferson had 2 phenomenal years. What goes up must come down. He's going to be very high draft capital, maybe first-round talent if you're going to draft him. I'm going to hold off and get Thielen again. Now, Thielen I got after the 4th round last year. Turned out to be a good return on investment early in the season. While people invested that first-round pick, second-round pick in Jefferson, while I was hoarding up running backs, okay? Hoard and load up on those running backs very early and wait on wide receiver. As you can see, guys, there's a ton of value with guys that can absolutely explode on your fantasy football teams next year. Adam Thielen could be a good bargain this year. Watch out for him, and I consider him a possible sleeper going into the season because he had a bad end of last season, so that could translate over for this season, okay, in regards to value. All right, so I've got 2 more here. I'm giving you a bonus one, so I'll give you the 5th one here. And I'm going to give you a bonus. But the guy I'm talking about here is Darnell Mooney. I think he's being slept on. I think the quarterback situation was a disaster with the Bears last season. I think the coaching was a disaster with Nagy. I think Darnell Mooney takes a step up this year. I think they're going to move on. I'm not sure what's going on with, what's his face? Al Robinson. I don't know what's going on with him. He just didn't get it done. I would think hopefully they move on from him. Darnell Mooney could be the wide receiver 1 there. And yeah, when you look at the quarterback situation there, Justin Fields, hopefully he gets integrated fully. He played 12 games. Andy Dalton was in there for a bit with 8 games. Disaster. They got to figure out their quarterback. They got to figure out their coaching situation. If they do both of those, I'm super, super excited about Darnell Mooney being the guy there as a guy that could really thrive there in Chicago, being a target leader with 140 targets, 81 receptions, 4 touchdowns. So he only had 4 touchdowns. That ceiling is definitely going to go up. And that's similar with Courtland Sutton, who actually only had 2 touchdowns. This is, Courtland Sutton's an 8 to 10 touchdown kind of guy, talent-wise, right? So Sutton, Darnell Mooney, all these guys have a high ceiling yet to go. Even DeVonta Smith with 104 targets, that can definitely go up. 5 touchdowns, way too much talent here for them to be underrated. I think hopefully predicated on these numbers, they are slept on. You get them for value, and they absolutely explode on your team. So, again, Darnell Mooney, another guy that could be a sleeper. I'll give you a bonus one here. And, again, make sure you guys do smash that thumbs up and get the 16-round draft solution because everything is going to be there for you. So, go guys, dfantasyfootballaccounts.com. Grab 16 rounds right now or click below if you're here on YouTube. All right, the next guy is Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore only played 11 games, but, again, another young guy. Came into the league, was drafted in the 2nd round out of Mississippi, 34th pick overall with the Jets. They invested high draft capital in him. The guy's talented, But again, he's on the Jets. So obviously their offense is completely suspect. The quarterback situation is completely suspect. And that could translate to, again, good fantasy football value for you guys in your rosters. Now, when I look at the target count for that team, it was him and Jamison Crowder. Crowder played 12 games. Elijah Moore played 11. But when you look at the target count, Elijah Moore had 77 targets to Jamison Crowder's 71. And 5 touchdowns to 2 touchdowns. Elijah Moore leading the pack as well. Elijah Moore is the wide receiver 1 there. Jamison Crowder has had years to wow us. We're not wowed. I mean, it's time to move on from him. Elijah Moore is that young guy, the guy that's going to get it done. If you look at Crowder, he's been in the league since 2015 and has absolutely done nothing. So they got to figure out their quarterback situation. They got to figure out that whole offensive situation. They've got young talent at running back with Michael Carter. They've got wide receiver Elijah Moore. So again, I am excited about the upside of Elijah Moore and another guy that could be a sleeper this upcoming season. So make sure you guys keep him on your roster. If you guys stash them, draft them at a good ADP, keep them on your roster for a potential, blowout type of season for Elijah Moore if they get things in check there with the New York Jets. Okay, that's a big key. All right, so that wraps it up, guys. Those are some 5 solid sleepers for you. There's going to be more sleepers as the rookie class comes out. Make sure you guys do subscribe and get that 16-round draft solution. I'm going to keep pumping out the content for you guys. I appreciate you guys being here, and if you guys want to win, this is the place to be. All right, guys, I'm out. We'll talk soon.